G'day and welcome to day 16, and today we're talking gut health and, importantly, the gut microbiome. Well, wow, this is interesting, and I'm obviously a cardiologist, don't know much about the gut, but I wandered into a gut microbiome presentation a number of years ago in the States at the American College of Cardiology meeting. And it was just fascinating talking about the impact of altering the gut microbiome on cardiovascular function. Well, my brief for these short podcasts is about 3 to 5 minutes, so I'm not going to be able to cover everything I'd like to, but I have done a more extensive podcast on salt and gut microbiome health, and I strongly recommend you have a listen to that if you're at all interested. It's absolutely fascinating. But what we don't realize is that the gut really is critical to our total body well-being, and if we really think about it, it's really an externalized surface of our bodies, internalized, because if you swallow a string from your mouth, you could follow that string all the way through to the other end. So your gut is actually exposed to what we would quite reasonably say the outside world. The intestine is keeping our bodies from the world, and it turns out that the microbiome are protecting us from that outside world, and that gut microbiome is complicated. Many of the bugs have features which allow them to survive in oxygen. We call those aerobic, but many cannot survive in oxygen because deep in the gut, oxygen doesn't get in there, and we call those anaerobic. It makes it extremely difficult to measure exactly or grow exactly what bugs are in the microbiome. But how do we do that then? Well, there are clever tests that allow us to collect a stool sample, a poo sample, send that poo sample off for evaluation, where they look at the DNA particles within that stool poo sample to try and figure out exactly what gut microbiome balance and what bugs are specifically present. Well, why do we worry about it? For a whole lot of reasons. But one of the reasons is that if you feed the right bacteria fiber, you'll get those bacteria in your gut making short-chain fatty acids, things like butyrate, which are considered to be protective for the development of large bowel cancer. We also know that feeding the right microbiome looks after that microbiome, and that microbiome then protects the endothelial lining of the gut, stopping it becoming stressed and leaky. And if we don't have a leaky gut, that improves our immune system. We also know that an imbalanced gut microbiome, sometimes linked to low fiber and high processed foods, can increase the production of trimethylamine N oxide. Well, that's a mouthful, and that mouthful is abbreviated to TMAO, TMAO, which has been linked to increased risk of cardiovascular disease. So a byproduct of the wrong sort of food for our gut microbiome. Feeding your gut things like vegetables for fiber is really valuable. And when you do eat, instead of thinking about what you're feeding yourself for your own well-being, see if you can start to reframe it as what you're eating in terms of the well-being of your gut microbiome, because I can assure you, if you look after your gut microbiome, it will look after you. If you do want to know a bit more, check out the podcast on salt and gut microbiome. It's absolutely fascinating. For now, I am going to leave you. I do hope you live as well as possible. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care, and bye for now.